I, 28, discovered my husband and biological mother were conspiring to have me committed, and I recorded everything. I have been feeling like I'm losing my mind for the better part of 8 months, forgetting conversations I never had, being told I said things I never said, finding my medication moved, my journal entries referenced in arguments, my therapist suddenly concerned about my stability in ways that felt coached rather than clinical. It started 2 weeks after my grandmother passed and left me her estate, roughly $1.4 million in property and accounts. I was her only grandchild. The will was airtight. My husband Derek had been attentive in a way that felt performative. My biological mother, Renee, who I'd only rekindled a relationship with 3 years prior, was suddenly always around, always watching, always gently suggesting I seemed overwhelmed, always offering to help manage things. Always together, the two of them, in ways I didn't question because I trusted them both. I found the recording by accident. Derek's phone synced to our shared laptop, something he'd set up and I'd forgotten about. A voice memo, 46 minutes long, labeled with a date from 6 weeks earlier. I almost scrolled past it. I didn't. The first 10 minutes were Derek explaining in calm and clinical detail that I had been deteriorating. Renee agreed. They discussed my therapist, Dr. Harmon, and how Renee had already spoken with him twice outside of my sessions, planting specific concerns. They talked about a psychiatric hold. They talked about a conservatorship. They talked about timelines. Derek said, and I will never unhear this, once she's declared unfit, the estate transfers cleanly. We just need 2 more documented incidents. I sat at that laptop for 20 minutes without moving. I did not confront them. I did not cry. I copied the file to a cloud drive, then to a USB, then emailed it to myself from an account Derek didn't know existed. Then I closed the laptop and made dinner and asked him how his day was. The next 3 weeks were the hardest of my life. I kept showing up to therapy, except now I understood Dr. Harmon was compromised. I said nothing incriminating. I smiled. I let them believe the slow erosion was working. What I was actually doing, I contacted an attorney, not one Derek had ever met, not one in our city. I contacted the state medical board about Dr. Harmon. I spoke to my grandmother's estate lawyer, who had also noticed irregularities. Renee had contacted him twice, claiming I had asked her to handle correspondence. I had never said that. My attorney was the one who told me the term for what they were doing: undue influence, conspiracy to commit fraud. Depending on what they'd said to Dr. Harmon, potentially suborning a mental health professional. The confrontation wasn't dramatic. It was a Tuesday morning. My attorney arrived at the house at 9. Derek was still in his robe. Renee was there. She was always there by then, sitting at my kitchen table with coffee she'd made herself, comfortable in a home that wasn't hers. I put my phone on the table, already recording. I told them I knew everything. I told them about the voice memo. I watched Derek's face go through 5 different versions of itself in under 2 seconds. Renee tried to speak and my attorney put up her hand. Derek tried to call it a misunderstanding. He used the word concern 4 times in 90 seconds. Renee cried. Real tears, which surprised me. I hadn't thought she was capable of anything real. Dr. Harmon surrendered his license during the board investigation rather than face a full hearing. Derek and Renee were both named in a civil suit. The criminal fraud case is still pending as I write this, but my attorney says the recording alone is enough to bury them. I am not fine. I want to be honest about that. 8 months of being told you're unstable, of having your reality quietly dismantled by the 2 people you trusted most. That doesn't just disappear because you won, but the estate is mine. My name is on everything. And for the first time in almost a year, when I walk into a room and feel like something is wrong, I trust that feeling.